I feel like a drum major, but that's fine because I'm gonna lead the band right up out of here. We are leaving summer, we're headed to fall, but before we go, I want to do one more summer look. So if you want to see how I got this look, keep watching. But I just wanted to play with color one last time. Just one last time before we have to fold up some of these palettes and put away some of these shades. So that's what I'm gonna do today. Hence my vibrant shirt. I really like this shirt, so I wanted to wear this. Anywho, we're gonna start with the primer. This is a new primer. This is the Farsali Skin Blur. This is the mini bottle. And I'm gonna use this today to start my face or prep my base. I'm gonna take a few drops of this and put it in my T-zone and just spread it out. This is a very popular primer. I picked it up a while ago, but it's actually my first time using it, so we'll see how it performs. All right, so next I'm gonna fill in my brows. So I'm gonna go in and just clean them up using concealer and foundation. I'm also going to use my Tinted shaping wax that I premiered a few videos ago that I really like from Patrick Ta. And then I'm going to just do that off camera and I'll be right back to apply foundation. Okay, so now that my brows are done, they are groomed, we're going to go right in with foundation. So today I'm going to use the Anastasia of Beverly Hills. This is the Luminous foundation. I reviewed this a little while ago. I like this foundation. So I'm in the shade 365C and 410C. So I mixed the two. So I'm gonna go in with the foundation brush first. I'm gonna use this Morphe E44 brush. And I'm starting with that darker color first. And I'm applying it around my mouth where I'm a little darker. And then also the perimeter of my face. I'm gonna go in with the lighter color and move upward. All right, so then with this beauty blender, this is a Pro Beauty Blender, but to me, they're kind of all the same. I'm gonna use the round largest side of the beauty blender. I'm gonna dip into the remainder of the foundation, only adding a little bit, and then I'm gonna press that into the skin. And this just makes sure that everything is evenly applied. There are no brush strokes. Even though these brushes don't leave strokes, the beauty blender really pushes the foundation into the skin so that it looks more natural. All right, so next I'm gonna go in with my concealer, of course. And I'm gonna use actually this Morphe concealer today. I feel like this concealer is kind of slept on. Like, it's not a bad formula at all, and I don't hear enough people talking about it. So I will say I do have to use two colors of the concealer. The range take kind of a weird jump. They go from light to dark, but then the undertones get real crazy. So what works for me is anything more golden and olive to match my natural undertone. So I have the shade C3.55, so C355 and C325. So I mix the two. I apply the darker one first, and then I use the lighter one to kind of highlight. So this concealer reminds me of Tarte Shape Tape and the NARS Creamy Radiant if they had a baby. All right, so now I'm going to take another beauty blender, of course, and I'm going to start to blend this out. And this concealer doesn't need a lot of time to set because I don't want it to dry before I have time to blend it. And I'll put the remainder on my chin, a little on my forehead. So now I'm gonna go in and use a cream contour. This of course will bring back a little more definition to the face, help sculpt the face. I'm gonna use the color Truffle by Fenty Beauty, and that's this one here. And it is one of the matchstick sculpting colors that Fenty makes, and it is bomb. All right, so I'm gonna use a Morphe E45 brush. I'm gonna dip right into this color and I'm gonna start applying it where I would normally contour. Then I'm gonna take a beauty blender and just blend that out a little bit more, soften that. On my nose, I'm gonna use that same cream contour color. And I really have been kind of defining the shape of my nose lately. Like, instead of just drawing these lines and hoping it creates a shadow, I've really been kind of taking my time and really sculpting the nose. And I feel like I'm getting better results that way. So I'm gonna add some curvature here, which I naturally don't have. And then also on the other side where my nostril does not pinch, I'm gonna create a shadow there. And I'm gonna start to blend. This is all to just bring dimension back to the face. It's not to recreate, it's just the shape. Don't recreate, just shape. Don't recreate, just shape. Then I'm gonna, of course, blend this out so that it's softer. Go back in with the little concealer that's left over. Little shape there, you know, nothing too major. So next I'm gonna go in with my cream bronzer. I'm gonna mix these two Fenty colors, Honey, Glaze, and Teddy. They look like this. All right, so I'm gonna mix these two. I'm using this Japanese brush. I don't know what it's called, but it's shaped like this. Nice, dense, like a mini foundation brush. And because this product is sheer, I definitely wanna kind of go in a little heavier. I'm gonna start to apply it and add some warmth. So when I go over this with powder bronzer, I won't have to use a lot. The foundation will already be there. That bronze foundation will already be there. So I'm gonna go in and set my face. I'm gonna, of course, use several different powders depending on the day. But today I wanna use these Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powders. I have two shades. I have 02 Medium and 3 Tan. And this is how they look. I mix the two. A lot of women my complexion, they just go in with 02 Medium and I find it to be just a little too pale. So I mix the two and they really create the perfect shade. And then of course, if you're deeper than I am, you can just get Tan. Tan has a beautiful undertone. I know it looks pale in the pan, but it really has a beautiful undertone. So of course, before I powder, I'm gonna go back in with that same concealer beauty blender and just press in the concealer that we previously applied. And then I'm just gonna go in with this brush, this Sephora 99 brush, and lightly set with this powder. And it really does smooth the skin. And then on the rest of my face, I'm gonna go in with this MAC 134 powder brush. I've had this brush for a long time, but you know, MAC brushes rarely tear up. I'm gonna actually go in with the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Powder in dark and just lightly pat this where I did not set. And of course, powdering your face before you go in with any other powder products just reassures that it's not gonna cling, it's not gonna skip, it's not gonna turn muddy. It really prevents those errors. And for a long time, I couldn't figure out why that was happening to me. And I just had to add a step. And now I just, you know, I have better results for sure. So even if it's a translucent powder, something super light, I would always recommend setting in between foundation, concealing, and then blush, bronzer, shadow, you know, whatever the case may be next for you. So for bronzer, I'm gonna go in with one of my OG favorites. This is the NARS Casino. And I'm gonna use this Morphe E4 brush, this angled brush. I'm going to lightly just kind of reassure what we already applied. This bronzer, it's a beautiful formula. Like, it is definitely something you should have in your collection. Nothing new about it. I think they reformulated recently, but this is an old bronzer. I've been wearing this bronzer for years and I just always go back to it just because it never fails me. And there are some new ones that I love that I will talk about if I haven't already, but this one just never fails me. You know, simply good. Sometimes simply good is just good enough. So next I'm gonna lightly bake. I'm gonna go in with this Huda Beauty baking powder and Kunafa, and I'm gonna use it on a beauty blender. I'm going to apply this under my eye and just down my nose. I also like to bake these smile lines. I'm gonna apply a little bit of powder here. And the fragrance in this powder will make you choke if you don't close your mouth. So make sure you're careful. Ooh, because it just happened to me. Okay, so I'm gonna dust away everything but my nose. And I'm just gonna use this Morphe, what is this, E48 brush. All right, so now moving right on to the eyes. I'm gonna use a new eyeshadow primer today. It's still a P. Louise product. You know, I like the P. Louise base shadow primers. This one's called Acid Rain and it's the shade Blank Canvas. This was actually suggested for me to purchase from one of the Morphe sales associate who's a brilliant makeup artist himself. I was explaining to him that I love MAC Paint Pot, but I also like P. Louise, and he basically said this is going to be the answer. This is going to be the fix or the combination of the two. So I haven't tried it out yet. I definitely want to see how it performs today. The shade does look very pale, so that makes me nervous, but I mean, shadow's going over top of it, so I guess it really doesn't matter. Let's see. I'm gonna apply this with a Morphe M224 brush. So it is definitely a thicker consistency, and then it's a light shade. So it's going on like cream or off-white. So I'm not gonna drag it up too far, but I am gonna make sure it gets in the crease. And then to apply things to my lid when I have on lashes, I use this little tool here and I just hold down my lashes with it and then I just apply. I purchased this off Amazon. I don't know where. Hopefully I'll be able to find the name because it doesn't have a name on it, but it works so well. If you have lashes, please buy this or something like this. I actually have a few little things like this. I think it's actually used for mascara, but I use it to hold down my lashes, and it's very gentle because of the shape of it. You're not putting pressure on your lashes. Your lashes are not gonna like fall out or pull out. I'm gonna blend these edges just a little bit. I'm gonna use this Morphe M505 brush to just blend this out. It does blend out very easily, just like a paint pot or just like the P. Louise base, the Rumor 5 I normally use. So I bought these eyeshadow palettes from Morphe a while ago. They have super affordable eyeshadow palettes if you don't already know. The brand itself is affordable, and they really produce really good quality products. Even if there's something that missed the mark, you don't spend a lot of money on it, so you're not worried about it. But for a affordable brand, like not drugstore but affordable brand, this is my go-to. This one here is called 18A. This one here is called 18F. These are some really, this is definitely a go-to warm brown for me. And then this one here is called 18T. So I'm gonna be kind of playing with these shades and these palettes for a while since I have them, and the colors are definitely functional for me. So I'm gonna start with the 18F palette. I'm gonna grab the shade Chance It, and I'm gonna use that in the crease. I'm using a Morphe 511 brush, and I'm applying that shade to the crease. as my first transition shade, of course. So from the Morphe 18T palette, I'm gonna go in with the shade In the Buff. And it's another brown shade. I'm using the same brush. This brown shade is more neutral. The first one was just a little bit warmer. In the Morphe 18F palette, I'm gonna go in with this shade here and this shade here. I'm gonna mix the two. And those shade names are, let's see, Here's My Number and Breaking Hearts. So I'm gonna use this Sigma E44 blending brush, and I'm gonna concentrate this color in the crease. I'm also gonna bring this color here in the corner. So then I'm gonna go back in with the first blending brush and just soften this out some, but keep the color where it's placed. Just want to soften the edges. I don't want to blend it up or out too much. All right, so now I'm gonna go back in with that paint pot on that flat concealer brush. And I'm going to start to carve out, I guess a cut crease. But I need to re-establish the lid so that I could use a different shade on it. And I'm just gonna carve this out to my liking as far as the shape. That just varies. It varies with different eye shapes. It also varies with the look that you're going for. But because my eyes are hooded, I have to carve a little higher. And then I have to make sure that it doesn't crease below that. Okay, so moving on to the lid, I'm gonna go into the 18A palette and use this color here. And this one here is called Sky's the Limit. So I'm gonna start applying that to the lid. I've already kind of pushed in some of that, those purple shades. I kind of made sure my cut crease didn't eliminate those, so I reinforced the corners of my eyes with that purple shade because I want that to be the perimeter of this blue shade. So I'm gonna use this MAC, what is this, MAC 239 shader brush. I'm gonna use this to pack on this blue shade. Okay, so next, to blend those vibrant eyeshadow shades together, I'm gonna use this MAC eyeshadow shade in Starry Night. And it is identical to the MAC pigment in Blue Brown, I think is what it's called. So I love these dual chrome colors. They are definitely some of my favorites. And I'm gonna use this Morphe E17. So it's like a pencil blending brush, almost a small blending brush. And I'm gonna use this right on the edge to soften. I'm actually gonna pat this on the lid also, just because the dual chrome-ness of it is causing it to alter the colors. So that way it'll be even. So now I'm gonna start to define the bottom lash line. I'm gonna use this pencil brush by Morphe, the M431. I'm gonna start with those brown shades first that we use for the crease. I'm just gonna apply those and connect them. And those are gonna come down kind of far. So next I'm gonna take the purple shade that I added to the crease. I'm gonna mix the same two colors. So I went ahead and finished my eyes off camera. I just basically blended the same shadows used on the lower lash line, and then applied a little mascara. This mascara is bomb. Let me just talk about this mascara for a second. My best friend, who's a phenomenal makeup artist, put me onto this mascara. It is the Lancome, what is this? Monsieur Big? I don't even know how to say it, but it's Lancome. It's a primer and a mascara. I will tag it below. These are the minis, and when you layer the two, it really gives you volume, like hair volume, like hairspray to a curling iron. Like, you gotta have it. You gotta try it. And I only use it on my bottom lashes and it's bomb. It may not be able to see from here, but just trust me. So for blush, I want to keep it kind of subtle, soft, and simple. I want to go in with this Patrick Ta blush in She's Seductive. It's just this kind of muted rosy neutral color. So I'm going to apply that to the cheeks. And I'm going to use the Sigma F37 brush to do that. And all of his blushes, like I said before, they are just a beautiful formula. They're for people like me who are heavy-handed. And yeah, I mean, I have no complaints. I need to pick up some more. All right, blush is done. Oh, I need to finish this nose contour. So I'm just gonna go in a little bit and reinforce the previous nose contour. I'm gonna use this, what is this? MAC 275 brush. I'm gonna go into this MAC sculpting powder in Shade Stir very lightly. And this brush is actually, it's not really dense. It is definitely has some fluff to it, which is good because I don't want these lines too harsh. And I'm just gonna carve out. So for highlight, I'm gonna go in with two ambient powders from Hourglass. The yellow kind of pale one is Diffuse Light. You can see I've had this for a while. And then the more golden one is Radiant Light. So pretty. So I'm actually gonna mix the two, more of the gold than the yellow, and use this as a highlight. And I'm using that same brush I use for blush. And this highlighter, these powders are so soft that you can kind of sweep them around, blend them everywhere. They're not going to be sticking out at you, screaming at you. So now that I'm done with all of my powdered products, I'm going to spray my face. I'm going to use this Fresh Vitamin Nectar Antioxidant Glow Water today. This was a popular spray at Sephora. Oh, actually it's a sprayer versus continuous. I like that. And it smells phenomenal. Like, oh my God, that smells so good. So I'm gonna let that absorb and settle, and then I'll apply my lips. All right, and then to finish off, I'm using this Smashbox Always On liquid lipstick in the shade Stay Tan. Use this as like a liner, even though it's beautiful all over. And it's just this nice warm brown shade. Then I'm gonna go in with my OG favorite, Cashmere Lime Crime. This is such an old color. Like, I used to kill this back in the day, but it is just like this kind of mauve-y neutral. And then I'm gonna mix the two with my finger. So because this lip color dried down to be a little bit more cool than I wanted, I'm gonna add a little bit of this Morphe liquid lipstick in the shade Vanity. And it's a little more pink. All right, so this is the final look. I kind of consider this video the farewell to summer video. You know, like, this is something I would wear to like a festival or a concert, and we didn't have that this year. So better luck next time. But I love summer makeup. I love vibrant colors. So I am kind of sad to tuck those away for 6 months or however long winter and fall is. But you know, we have fun today playing in makeup. And I tried a few new products as usual, and then also stuck with some OGs. I don't have any complaints about anything I tried today. I'll definitely keep them in the collection. And if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, so you're a part of the family and you're always around. Thank you for watching. Peace.